Welcome to the Sara Finkelstein Show, where the next 10 minutes can change your life. Also on Spotify, SoundCloud, and iHeartRadio. Here's Sara.
Hi, everyone. Have you ever thought about how funding retirement today is different in decades past? Well, let me share this slide with you and let's talk about it. The other slide. Perfect. So there we are. What I want to talk to you about today, the difference in how people fund their retirement today as opposed to many, many decades ago. One of the major differences is that many people do not have access to a pension plan. Now, what a pension plan does is it pays you a certain dollar amount based on your previous job for the rest of your life. And some pensions will even pay your benefit to your surviving spouse when that happens for the rest of his or her life. But unfortunately, pensions have been replaced by a defined contribution plan known as a 401k or a 403b plan, where the contributions are based on the individual employee contributing as opposed to the employer contributing to your retirement income benefits. So what happens with these 401k plans and 403b plans? Well, there are no guarantees, whereas a pension is guaranteed to pay you X number of dollars for the rest of your life. But a 401k and a 403b plan is subject to market volatility without any kind of protection. Another difference is you look at the slide, funding retirement in years past was mostly the bulk of the money funding your retirement came from your pension. And then the rest came from Social Security, but the smallest amount of funding your retirement came from your own personal savings and investments, and otherwise your nest egg. Well, today it's flip-flopped. So most of the money funding your retirement is coming from your nest egg. And a challenge that many individuals face is that they are just not saving enough for their retirement. And that would potentially create a problem down the road. Social Security for most people provides about 40% of their pre-retirement income. And pension, very little, because again, most people do not have a pension anymore. Or if they're fortunate enough to have a pension, it may not be fully funded or it could be in jeopardy. So what do we need to do to shore up our retirement income? You know what happens when you retire and you leave your job, you're also leaving your paycheck behind. But your lifestyle really doesn't change all that much. You still live in your home. You still do what you enjoy doing. And how do you fund that income shortfall? As many Americans will be experiencing an income shortfall in retirement. Now, there are Social Security maximization strategies. Are you taking advantage of those? Also, there are ways to guarantee your lifetime income. For most people, Social Security will not cut it. It just won't be enough unless you maybe downsize drastically, change your lifestyle altogether, which most of us do not want to do because we want our so called golden years to be golden, carefree, and happy, and to do what we've been delaying doing during our working years. So, what strategies are you utilizing to make sure that you have enough income in retirement so you can enjoy life to the fullest? Have you talked to somebody about how to strategize so you have the income guaranteed for the rest of your life? Kind of like how Social Security works. Social Security will pay you X number of dollars based on your work earnings history, and they'll pay that to you for the rest of your life. Well, most people need more than just one source of guaranteed lifetime income. Let me ask you, when was the last time that you had gotten a second opinion on your financial plan? It is so common for people to get a second opinion upon getting a serious medical diagnosis. And of course, our health is important, but our wealth is just as important as our health. Now, of course, you need good health to enjoy your life, but to enjoy life to the fullest, you also need your wealth so you could do and travel and go and play, maybe play golf every day if that's what you want to do. So, what are you doing? I'm trying to get you to think about this because everybody's so busy doing their work or their business, running their business, or whatever family obligations. Oftentimes, pre retirees are helping an elderly parent or another relative, helping them with what their needs are, and not allocating enough time to planning for their own retirement and financial future. So think about the different things that you're currently doing to improve your financial situation, to have the retirement that you have been dreaming about. And by the way, I've run into this quite a bit with individuals who have been sacrificing themselves to save for their financial future. And once they get there, they sacrifice themselves again. In other words, they don't go on that wonderful trip. They don't move into the retirement dream home. They don't get the sports car. They don't do the upgrades to their home. Why? Because they want to make sure that they leave money to their children and grandchildren. And they've worked for 40 years or more to amass their savings. And then what happens is that their children and grandchildren get to do everything that they had wanted to do. But if they had the guaranteed lifetime income that they needed, then everybody can have a good life and enjoy. So, a tip for you, take a look at what you're doing, figure out what your income shortfall is going to be. If you're not already collecting Social Security, you can certainly pull up your Social Security report. Make sure you create your account on ssa.gov, and you can pull up your retirement estimator, which will show you what your projected income from Social Security is going to be. And then you can figure out what your income shortfall will be. So, what are you going to do about your income shortfall? Are you going to take some proactive steps so that you could have the retirement that you wish? Or are you just not going to think about it and let the chips fall where they may? I always find that being proactive is a better choice with much better results. If you would like a copy of my free report called Financial Fitness Forever, just get in touch with me. My number is 561-302-5760. You can send me a text message, and I'm more than happy to send that report to you. or if you'd like any of my books, I'd be happy to share those with you as well. Happy retirement planning.
Knowledge is power, but only when you implement what you've learned to your own benefit. Tune in next time for even more powerful tips on the Sara Finkelstein Show.